I wanted to tell you guys about one of my experiences being sexually assaulted. It was about 10 years ago. I had just left my boyfriend of 10 years, and I tried to join this organization that I'm not going to blame because I don't blame them for what happened. I don't think they knew what kind of a person this guy was. But I guess because I was gay, they wanted me to connect with a gay member of their organization. So they hooked me up with this judge dude who was divorced for a number of years. He had polio from before polio was treatable with a vaccine. So he walks with a walker and is a little bit disabled, and he plays on that sympathy. Um, I mean, I have some disabilities myself, so I don't fault anyone for having disabilities, but he was definitely playing on it to get my sympathy, and he did successfully. He was an older dude, well, older than me. I'm 51, so. But I think he was in his late 60s by then. So one day I was over at his house, and he was kind of mentoring me. I really looked up to him. He had he's a legal dude. Hi, girl, my cat's here. You can't see her because of the green screen. But he, I was complaining that I had shoulder pain, and at the time I was homeless. Um, I had stopped working. I'd stopped running my company. I got really depressed. My ex took basically everything, so I had nothing to my name, no money, nothing almost, just my car. So I was living out of my car, and I had some back issues at the time already. So I think I was about to turn 40, and yeah. So one day I was over at his house, and he was helping me. I thought, giving me advice like, oh, well, maybe you should open up your company again and work on a new logo, etc., etc. So I was kind of doing that. And I was complaining about my shoulder pain. And he said, well, I have a muscle relaxer that'll help you with your shoulder pain. And I didn't have any experience with muscle relaxers, so I didn't know that some of them are pretty highly narcotic. Also, what he gave me was definitely not a muscle relaxer. I took the pill, and the next thing I knew, I had kind of like, I guess, kind of lost consciousness. And when I woke up, like into consciousness or something, I don't know what happened, but apparently I'd been unconscious for a while, because when I woke up back into consciousness, I was aware of what I was doing, but I still didn't really have control over my actions. I was naked in his bedroom, and I remembered that I had taken my own clothes off. He was naked too, and he had a pair of handcuffs, and he had his cell phone out, and he was taking pictures of me naked. And I mean, come on, this is a former judge, so he must know how illegal that is, right? To do all this stuff that he was doing. So he was taking pictures of me naked. So somewhere there's a bunch of unconsensual naked pictures of me at a time that I was really not proud of my body. Naked either. I mean, if I had been in really great shape, then I probably wouldn't have minded so much. But honestly, the damage that it could have done, to my life back then, when I really cared about that kind of stuff, I just decided not to care about it afterwards. So I was naked, and he was naked by his bed which was a big 4-poster bed with like, with like a canopy, kind of fancy bed, And all I remember that next was that he asked me to handcuff him to the bed and like handcuff him to it. And I don't really remember if I did, but I think I did. And then I went unconscious again because I don't remember what happened after that. I don't know if maybe he gave me another pill before that or what happened, but I went unconscious again and I don't remember what happened for the next, few minutes or hours. I have no idea how long this event took. I woke up again and I was inside of a black leather, like a sex S&M bag or something. Like I was inside this like dark bag. And I could smell the leather and I knew what it was because he had shown it to me like a few days before, before this, he had shown me this black leather bag that he'd bought from China that was like a sex toy, like for people who were into that. And I don't know what kind of sex you call that. I've never really participated in stuff like that, so I don't really know what it's called, but I was inside this black leather bag and I was wrapped in chains. Like I was my body was chained up. And I could hear somebody saying in the distance, because I was inside the black bag, right? And it was zipped up. I could kind of see a little bit of light like from a zipper in front of my eyes. And I could see the chains, a little bit of the chains on my body, and I was like, trying to get out of them. And I heard somebody, maybe it was him, saying, "Oh, Adam looks good in chains. Adam looks good in chains," over and over again. And all I remember is that I somehow got the chains off of my arms, and then I busted the bag open. Like I just pushed it apart, and I ripped at it and ripped at it and ripped at it until the zipper ripped apart and the bag ripped to pieces. He goes, "I've never seen anybody rip the bag open before." And then I kind of don't really remember again what happened. And then next thing I knew, I was freaked out. I think I finally had regained control of my body or whatever it was. It had worn off, and I put my clothes on and I ran out of his house. And I think the only time after that, if I remember right, the only time I really went back to his house after that, I didn't report him to the cops or anything. I don't know why. I didn't call the cops. I really should have, probably. Probably he would have seen some fucking justice. I've mentioned his name on here before. I might mention it again, just because I don't give a fuck, about his reputation, because he's destroyed mine, probably, with secret, unflattering naked pictures of me, and with his friends or whoever. And I think the only time I went back to his house was I had gotten a boyfriend a while after that, like several months after that, and that boyfriend, or I think I had just gotten a boyfriend when I met. That's what happened. I think I had just gotten another boyfriend, and when I met this judge, and he had told me that he knew somebody that could repair my boyfriend's Xbox. So when I finally got up the courage to go back to his house and confront him about all of this with my boyfriend, I wanted to go pick up my boyfriend's Xbox because he hadn't had it repaired or anything like he'd promised. And all I remember was him standing in his door with his walker and yelling at me like, I'll see the back of you. This is the last I'll ever see you. I don't want it. You're like a worthless human being or something like that. And I was like thinking, dude, you have a lot of room to talk, after doing what you did to me. You don't have any business criticizing my morality or me as a person after what you've done, you know? So, you know, I forgive people, but I hate that guy. I really do. I don't like him. I don't think he's a good person. He was apparently married to a woman back in the 60s or 70s, and she had divorced him when she found out that he was gay and massively cheating on her with all these men. And he had somehow been disbarred, or whatever the term is, for when a judge is no longer allowed to practice as a judge. One other thing that's really weird about this guy is that he's from the same area of the U.S. that my stalker that I met later, and who may also have drugged me at least once, if not several times, several years later. He's from that same part of the world, like within miles of where that guy is from. So that's a little freaky. So yeah, there's my story about one of my freakier sexual assaults. It's not the only one, but it's the freakiest one. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. I don't know what to tell you about it. All I can say is that sexual assault affects a lot of women and a lot of gay men and a lot of gay kids and trans kids. And all this homophobia and gay hating and trans hating and stuff coming out of the White House and out of the law from what the White House is doing is not helping things. And the trauma is real. You know, it's affected my life, vastly affected my life. Not just this, but several other things. But this was definitely, psychologically, this knocked me back by quite a bit. I would say the stalking afterwards was worse. I think the damage that my stalker did to my reputation, the crap that he told people about me that got me stalked here, was probably materially worse, but psychologically that incident with the guy was pretty damaging to me, I feel. So, yeah, if you go out to bars and stuff, protect your drink. Don't let anybody put anything in your drink. Don't trust people you've just met. Even if you think you're in an environment that seems safe, just think about, how well you know that environment. And, especially if you're a vulnerable type of person, like you think you might be, like if you're on a neurodivergent spectrum, a lot of people tend to be a little bit more naive than your average person. So, you may not be able to detect when people don't have your best interests at heart and are lying to you. And then, also this is narcissism's last gasp, man. This is what we're seeing with Donald Trump and them, how they're running the government on pure corruption and lies now and have gutted the government so that it doesn't do any of the things that we've paid for it for, and it only serves, and it's just everything that people have worked for with the government has been destroyed, and now it's there only just to repress and steal from the people. This has been the de facto standard for humanity for thousands of years. People don't realize. Closeted gay men have been destroying regular gay men and women's lives for thousands of years. Narcissists and narcissistic organizations and governments and institutions have been there to protect narcissism and to protect the rich and to protect the narcissists. And we're watching narcissism fight hard for its survival. And I think we're going to watch it all burn and go down in flames. I sure hope we do. I wish all narcissists to be dead and gone off this world. But that would be considered unchristian of me. But I'm not a Christian. I'm not even really that particularly religious anymore. I do believe in some spiritual things, but I think narcissists should absolutely all be like locked up. I think that they're worthless people. I think they're horrible. I think they've gotten way too much advantage and good things in life off the backs of people like me who work hard and have provided ideas and labor and love and physical love and advantage and financial gain to these fuckers. Yeah, fuck narcissism. Fuck narcissists. And fuck President Trump. And fuck that asshole. Oh yeah, his name is Walt. That's his name. Yeah, fuck you, Walt. Sit and spin, you piece of shit. Go to jail, asshole.